All right, welcome back to HopeTech's latest release. This is the Spacetruk IV, a brand new class. Ron was working on it in secret before he met his untimely death to our bullet. And this is everything in the kitchen sink, the magnum opus of Ron at HopeTech. It is an absolute beast of a cargo vessel that has its own crane to unload the shipping containers. It has liquid storage. It can transfer helium-3 as well as regular storage, hard pack. Fuel delivery system. This is taken after I actually bought the Spacetruk III, so that's like 279k or something like that. With I have Commerce 4, and then I rebuilt it as close to what HopeTech shows for their I don't know, the ships they have available. This is I still have a split down the middle. It's not exactly as pronounced as the Spacetruk III. It is all front load everything. It has lots and lots and lots of weapons, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Hi, frog face. We've got your front load here. We've got the big door so that you can unload cargo directly off into where you're going. And we are going to show you some specs. Now keep in mind these specs are go up when I step onto the ship and you get Sam's bonus. So 28,586 cargo. It'll go up just a little bit once we go inside. 32,000 I think. The shield will go up to 2880 for Amari Hassan. The 38 reactor, it is a 38 reactor. So add 1 for Vasco or Andromeda, and then add I have all the skills in it, so 5. It is a monster. Now, I could add more cargo to this and still have at least 28 light years. But I maxed it out. It won't let me build anything more. If I try to do anything... I put too much on it. It's everything. I said it was everything in the kitchen sink. I wasn't lying. It's literally every possible piece of thing you can stick onto a ship, and it's on this ship. It has all the landing gear. So the concept is this storage tank, this is your grav fuel. This is what you use for your ship to fly this across the skies. And then you have 3 of these. It actually came with these. It came with 5 total, and I took 2 off. To transfer helium-3. So you use helium-3 for your own fuel, but you can transfer helium-3 to somewhere else like a cargo vessel would. And in fact, inside of HopeTech, up on the ceiling, they have a ship that's even bigger than this because, you know, it's Bethesda and they can do that. And it has a whole bunch of these. It's got like 14 of these throughout about 2/3 of the ship. So the Spacetruk III starts as a split. It's got 2 sides with the spine, the sideways spine between them. So I kept the concept but completely changed it. On this ship, you come in directly to a 3x3 cargo. So this is more your kind of RP. Obviously, the 3x3 cargo doesn't do anything for you in the game. But this is the more logical, if we were in keeping with how ships would actually function, you would have your storage on the outside where they're easy to get to, instead of, you know, shoved up underneath here like they are. We could just say that you get to these through the 3x3, right? You get to them all here. So you come in here with your pallet jack and you start moving stuff out, or you come in there with your exoskeleton probably. And then the fuel delivery system, it has its own riser. It goes through here, comes out through pipes once you dock into a station, or comes out through hoses when you land somewhere that you can fuel up to something else. The crane, clearly it's not functional. It'd be cool if it was. It's got its counterbalance over here that is lit. It's got a lighted counterbalance. Kind of cool. And, yeah. Plenty of guns to protect itself. They're all automated. So you don't have to do anything. You got a couple facing forward, 2 of them. And all you do is just max out your engines, veer off to the side, boost it, and if you have the skill, they'll lose you for a moment, lose lock on you while you're boosting, and then the whole time these guys are firing back. You have 5 firing back, and they will just utterly destroy them. They'll just burn everything into cinders. This is a very expensive meme that I did, because, so now here's the idea. This is all a front dock, front everything, so these look like giant LEDs, like, I don't know, 10,000 watt LEDs, 100,000 watt LEDs, right? And you need to light up the sky in front of you where you're coming to. But they look like frog eyeballs. So it's a froggy ship. It's whatever. $34,000 expense, you know, whatever. It's got the biggest shield generator, and it has the biggest grav drive. It does not have the biggest reactor because the 2 biggest, the 40s, do not have a bottom snap, and I couldn't put a landing gear on it without a bottom snap. It is what it is. So, thoroughly, completely maxed out. You have all the other stuff. You've got your multi-frequency. You got these 2 guys from, what are their names? The Crimson Fleet. You've got a shielded cargo in case you want to, you know, kind of tucked up away, out of sight, out of mind. I could fit a lot more stuff. Like, I could fit 2 of the side bags there. I could fit another of these guys on both sides. I could fit more back here, but the game won't let me put any more on the ship. It's just kind of funny. So I could probably get this to 40,000, or very close to 40,000 cargo. And it's still surprisingly quick. So I'm going to meet you in a minute, where I'm going to go to HopeTech. I'm going to show you what I bought, and I'm going to show you the ship that I made 2 ships into 1 to make this, so you'll understand, and then we'll do a build for it. Be back in a moment. Alright, so now real quickly we'll show you I'm here at HopeTech, and I will show you. It's weird that they're not selling the Spacetruk III now for some reason, but okay. But we'll give you an idea. So if you look at this design here, you got a central spine, you got your shipping containers on the side. I did a very similar thing. You have this design with weapons on them. I did a very similar thing. So I kept it as HopeTech-like as I could. While and even this, even though it's a little bittier guy, it has the same cockpit. It has a front attachment for space stations. It has your side cargo. So very similar in design to HopeTech. And then look at that thing. So same spines, they just painted them white. Big halves, same thing.
Keep an eye on your valuables. If you can't protect your own, you don't belong.
Front bumpers, split with a crossway, although mine doesn't have a crossway anymore, but very, very similar in design to how HopeTech makes their ships. So I wanted to be at, and it's all HopeTech cabs. It's the HopeTech cockpit. In fact, it is the same cockpit that the Spacetruk III came with when I bought it. It's a big, damn impressive ship.
Hey, what can I need some work done?
Let's see if he sells it this time. Maybe
I'm sure you can find
just
something
zoning will get it to show up. Nah, he's only got 3 ships right now. See, now he's got totally different ships than what he did yesterday when I bought it. That's just weird. Anyway, I will be right back with you, and we will do a teardown video. Alright, I don't know if you're ready for this one, but it's good because it's a mess, but we will try to work our way through it. I tried to separate it by front end, rear, meaning the engines, top, aft, fore, top, the crane, the fuel delivery system, and then the bottom and the second floor. So first we'll start with, you come in through the Tayo Shipbed 200. This is the one that gives you the big old door right there, you can see it, so that you can go, in theory, obviously RP, directly into this with your sleds, your whatever, pallet jacks, and move stuff straight out. The landing gear, so because this requires so much landing gear, if you want to keep your jump range up, the 2 lander thrust of the Acculanders just isn't enough. So you have to have a couple of these. The problem with using the Deimos 3 lander thrust is they require to be up taking over a space that you would be tucking something else in there. And in fact, I used to have these over here. I had another hab here. But they required, however, they only have a top snap. So you got to be cognizant of that. Whenever you're putting them somewhere, like these aren't attached at all right now. They're just kind of hanging out. So you have to think about your design when you're doing this, that this only has a top snap. It's not like something like this that snaps everywhere. Or these, excuse me, depending on which of the 3 designs, you've got this side, that side, and you've got the middle. The middle has a side snap. The sides do not have a side snap, meaning you cannot snap a piece to it on the outside. So that's something you got to think about when you're designing. Like this comes out like this and comes around. There's nothing attaching that right there except for the second layer. So without the second layer, these landing gear wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't be attached to anything. Same in the back. They're attached to the bottom of this grav drive and the bottom of this reactor. It's why I had to have the really expensive reactor and grav drive. This ship is like, man, it's close to $1 million. It's not cheap. This is purely RP. We're building this as Ron's dying wish, even though he died to us. What he was good, the next big thing he was going to come out with in the market, if he hadn't been screwing all those ranchers over and homesteaders over. So this is the only hab on the bottom. Originally, I did have more habs on the bottom, but as I built it, I had to have more and more landing gear. I did used to have the landing gear it came with, those big side ones that I have on the Space Buick. The problem is they don't just take up one space. They occlude the space next to it in an arc. It's a really bad design on Bethesda's part, but it is what it is, and then that means I wouldn't have been able to have this nice display show over here. So we're using the big, the galleons. They're 1480 cargo a piece, and I have lots of them. So same with the landing gear. I just changed these to the middle. You know, you take them out and you hit Z to make them do different angles. So these are the middle so that I have a snap point, both of them. And I can see I didn't get part of this colored, but it's whatever. Trying to get all these pieces colored is a pain in the butt. So the bottom section has these, and what I did, yes, it would have been better to have all the 60s, but it wouldn't have looked right. If you've ever seen a container ship on TV, or maybe you've been on one, I don't know, they have just all kinds of different containers. They have 40 foots, they have 20 foots, they have the little, what are they, 8 cubes, I think. They're all kinds of colors, all different brands, Maersk and all these other ones. And so it made sense to have a variety of sizes, even though it isn't. If you just did all the 60s, you would have a lot more storage. Because, I mean, like these only have 320. This has 245 versus 435. So it's an aesthetic. It's a look. So that is your entire base layer. Not a heck of a lot to it, to be fair. Just a single 3x3. So you get up to your second layer. These spines, which are HopeTech, were to force the docker to have no other, to be on no other spot, and I wanted it centralized. I wanted that kind of split look like they do with their ships, with the ship that I bought actually, without having the crosshabs, because oh my god, that was so bad when I first got into it. It was stuff everywhere. It was awful. Any case, you did I do an interior walkthrough? I might have to go and do another interior walkthrough. So this just forces your docker to have a nice long hallway. It's real nice. And there's no doorways to these sides. So you've got the mess hall. Nice. You got a mess hall that attaches to this, and then you've got business on this side. So you get your computer core and your control station. Computer core is really just to add +1. You could actually put another control station if you wanted to get to the 8 crew. And then on this side, it's more the living side. So you got your captain's quarters, you got your all-in-one. And then we've got some hidden storage. Just nothing special about it. It was just a little space that is where this riser comes down. So it fit. It works. I'm happy with it. I'm okay. But you can't put them here because this tank gets in the way. So you come back, you go to spines, the Nova bracers. They just help save weight. They kind of look appropriate because now we're getting back into, you know, right up behind these guys. And it looks right. It looks like it fits there appropriately. So we're going to pop this level and stick it over. I'm going to have to fix the, I'm sure. Yep. There you go. That one doesn't have what I need yet. Okay. So let's go here to the back. This, well, I guess we'll have to just put the engines on now. So, grav drive. You've got the gamma grav. This thing's stupid money. It's not 92,000 stupid money, but it is stupid money. I don't know why it does that. It has a value that's higher. So this goes directly over your landing gear and also attaches to that. So you have 2 attachment points. It's the only way the landing gear works with that top attachment point. Then you've got the DC-403 reactor. It's the biggest reactor you can get that has a top and a bottom. Now, someone's going to chime in, oh, but what about a B? There might be a B. I didn't look, to be fair. There's a 39B, and I don't know if it has top and bottom snaps. So, same thing. Now you're snapped to here. Now you snap to the back. And in front of those, I put these engine struts just to make it look nicer. You know, it gives it a kind of neat look. It's fairly barren in the back, so it just gives it a little nice look. And to be fair, they were on the ship when I got it, so I'm just putting back what was already there. So we have the quote fuel we use for the ship. It's your biggest single tank 650, the 900T. Stick this right there in the middle. Wrong spot. There in the middle. Then we have your, let's see. Yep, we're going to have to go back to engines first. So I have these to make it look like pipes are running to the engines from these devices. This is just your HopeTech pipes. The ship as I got came with a whole bunch of this stuff, so I just cannibalized it to use it in there. These engines are pretty pricey, and I have a lot of them. So they're the most weight capacity engines. So you can have a much bigger mass before dropping down below 100. Obviously, I have way too much mass. It's like 4730, I think. So these are going to go straight to here. Right to there. This one's going to snap to this top point. And then we're going to snap the bottoms in. Just directly below. I'm not perfectly satisfied with just having a block in the back of engines. I don't think it looks that good. I like the help of this to break it up a little bit. Right? So it gives it a little... I wish I could split the middle. It gives it a little bit of interest to it, but I'm still not perfectly happy with it. I would like maybe wing flares or something, but this is exactly 40 meters. I couldn't add anything behind it if I wanted to without changing the ship entirely and making it so it would fit differently. So now this tank actually has to sit upward a little bit. In order to sit it upward, I had to have these. Now I did originally have this the cargo hold S204s up here, but I thought the just blocky square just didn't look right, so I changed to these. So yeah, you lose 280 storage on each side, but it has a better appearance in my opinion. And that's what this snaps to. Just like that. And that's how you can tell. So if I zoom in down here, this is why I can fit storage there, but I can't fit it to that side because this cylinder gets in the way. Because the riser sits right there. So then we had a plate. Come here, plate. Right there. We have this riser. So this also came with the ship. It was a whole bunch of it. I mean, it was a big apparatus. It's just a mid cap, and I use it over here on the opposite side of the crane for my weapon. And this is the PB0, excuse me, 300, and these things are tremendous. They're so much damage. It's awesome. So on this side, I do use the front, and honestly, I could change that to the front and then put this guy here. It is what it is. Do how you please when you have the ship. It does make it more symmetrical if you do it that way. So on this other top, all of this stuff all came with the ship, and I just changed how it. I mean, they had it down the sides on both sides, so I just changed how the setting looks. Instead of the whole entire ship, now it goes over this portion. So we're going to start up there. And these are just the caps. Nothing special. This is the conduction grid from Crimson Fleet. Still the PBO 30s, 300s. You get 4 of those, and there are 3 of the PB0 100s. The reason for 3 is so that I can power everything 100%. Engines, shield, both weapon groups, and then I have 1 spare power left to put into grav drive. I can have that all maxed at all times. If I decide I want to use the suppressors, I can dump a bunch of power into those. Or if I want to just ramp up my grav drive to get out right now, you're not going to need to. But should you accidentally jump into cricks or something and you're not allied with them, you might want to do that. So just your mid cap. By the way, these guys, you just hit Z, and they do all kinds of different looks to them. So, funny enough, I don't know that I actually knew about that until just recently when I was messing around with something, and I hit Z on accident. I'm like, hey, that's a different shape, because the game doesn't tell you. So we got a comm spike here. Again, this is Crimson Fleet. Now, these are our 2 forward-firing weapons. So you jump into a system, bad guys are there. These 2 weapons, as soon as they go red, they will attack them. I personally have not had the auto turrets attack anybody that wasn't hostile to me. That doesn't mean you won't. I've heard people that have had that happen, so user beware. If you want to actually physically attack, go ahead. Otherwise, I just veer off slightly, boost forward, max engines, and by the time I turn around, these 4 and this one over here have killed everything behind me. So it's fine. Works for me. So now we've got the front here. We're going to put the cockpit on, and this is the one that comes with the ship. I did not go to a larger cockpit, although I could now that I'm stuck and I can't put anything else on it. You can get 40 more storage, so with talents and all that, you're going to get probably 50. Maybe 60. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, whatever. Just for and it goes up to like 34 mass because it goes to 340. So big shield, the SG 1800. This is that experimental shield that gives you 1600. So it's got all the shield we could ever want. Now we get onto this front end. I painted these. Well, they're supposed to look just like these, but for some reason they look more gritty. It's supposed to look like, so it's that kind of yellow caution, hey, watch out, don't get near this thing, it moves around, or hey, this is the front end, look out. But it's been weathered with time. I think I pulled it off fairly well. It's not perfect, but it's just something to break up the line. I didn't want even more bumpers up here, and these come with that ship, so it's just the HopeTech bumper. I thought it would look a little weird if I had another set of bumpers over here versus what these are, and I think it gives it a nicer look. And then you just have the docker, the foredocker. Nothing special about that. The ship as it comes has a docker over here sticking out where one of these was. I think it's got like a 1x1 or something, and then it's got the docker sticking out. So now let's go to this bad boy first. I'm going to stick it on in one go. So you've got your risers. This riser here is going to it's going to sit right on top of our tank. This set goes down here right to the back of the cargo bay. Maybe that's what the chemical containers are in the inside of the cargo bay. And then, excuse me, you got your HopeTech pipes. Nothing special about these. These can actually change, and this one actually did change. That's supposed to be... Oh, it's not going to let me change it back. That's supposed to be in line. I don't know how that got changed. It should all be the A's. Put the B's if you want, but it looks weird that the pipes are crossed midway. So I'll have to fix that. And then you got another riser. That riser sticks right on top of this. So the idea is the fuel all comes, channels down through here, comes out through this with cables or hoses, comes out through that when you dock. So, ba-bink. Let's grab this bad boy. And let's maybe do it this way. Excuse me. So, there's that nice look. Dig it. Now we get to the crane. Crane uses this engine bracer. I'm still not perfectly happy with it, but I didn't want a bunch of the tech risers here and also using it there. Plus, we're also using it there, and I'm using it there. And I didn't want to use those. I thought it was just too much, right? I wish we had a cylindrical thing. That would be much more appropriate. But it is what it is. Or even I would show you, but I can't bring it out. That Stroud, it's steel, it's white, and it's near the very bottom. I don't think it'll even let me... Nope, it won't even let me get into it to show you. It's just a front brace, and it kind of looks like these pipes a little bit, but more structured. If that had a vertical, that'd be great. So you come up here into the engine mount. The engine mount goes into the same pipes that are here, because I just cannibalized it from it. And to a riser. Pardon me, I need a drink. You have the third of the 100s mounted up here, facing backwards. This Deimos hole was the closest It's the closest thing I could get to what looked like a counterbalance. And then this is more of the weight, and it's also lit, so I don't know, the guy in there can see around. And then you've got a same thing, kind of like a caution in the back. So this guy just goes right there. And now we are complete. For some reason, I don't think I did a walkthrough, so we're going to do a walkthrough right now. Let's just cancel modifications. Get out of this. If I did, I'll just cut it without this walkthrough. You can even say it still says Spacetruk IV. So, you come into... This is all HopeTech. Come into the 3x3. This is their big, old, gigantic cargo bay. And I tried and tried and tried and tried to get the ladder where I wanted, and it just would not behave. So this is where it put it. And there's nothing I can do about it. Put it in the captain's quarters.
It's always good to see a friend.
It's yeah, life. One of these days we'll get the
So,
ability
what's
to
new with you today?
do it how we want to do it. So 2x3, excuse me, of the mess hall. Here is your spine to go out and dock with a space station. Splits the middle, gives a very nice HopeTech look to it.
I'm ready to head out again when you are.
You got the nice swanky lounge, missing the lotion and the tissue. Someone's been naughty.
Hi.
Hello, Dark Cora hiding in the dark over there.
It's always a good day when we get to chat.
So control room up here.
How are you today?
In the back we have the computer lab. Computer core, I should say. Really, again, it was just to add space.
What's going on?
Oh, I already showed you that. Front. Just to add crew. So this is the living side, so we obviously have living quarters up here. It's the all-in-one for HopeTech. So we've got 2 bathrooms in here and 3 beds. 3 beds is not the best option, but it is what it is, and that's what we've
See
got.
anything interesting today?
I hope Cora doesn't get too much underfoot.
Come up here. We are now in the cabin. The cool cabin, where I really like the lighting scheme of these. I love these cockpits. For the two that sit with you. We're going to go up and I'm going to show you a little speed test real quick. I'm not going to do combat on this because it's pretty boring. You just fly away and they attack. That's it. Your weapons kill everything. But you see,
All thrusters firing.
once we get up there, you power everything. Lots of landing gear. Looks pretty cool with that, quote, crane.
We're locking into orbit now.
Alright, so you can see I have everything powered up all at once. Let's push this thing up to max power, max speed. I still have one for grav drive. Now this is because of my skills, I have everything maxed. 202 speed is damn reasonable for how big this ship is. And we boost it, that's where you're going to see it's not so reasonable anymore. Boost is not very impressive. But it still works. It's like 437, 439, give or take, on a ship that has 31,444 cargo capacity, a little bit of shielded with that. Ridiculous amount of fuel because we're role-playing that they can carry helium-3. Huge, huge shield. Again, I have my skills maxed, and I have Amari Hassan. Big ol' reactor, skills are maxed, 7 crew, 30 light year, whole bunch of damage output, and big value. Plus, it weighs a lot. So yeah, that is my HopeTech themed biggest space truck thing they've got. I'll call it the Spacetruk IV, if I could rename them, because I have the bug that I can't rename things. And yeah, I like it. I hope you guys liked it too. Thanks for watching.